it's the start of a new lockdown. We've got those same feelings of uncertainty and fear and anxiety. So we have to ask ourselves the question, what did we learn from the last time?
And what can we do better this time? How can we turn this to our advantage? Well, the first thing is believing we can get through it, which we can because we got through the last one. Here's our 10 tips to help you. I don't know about you either, but I've got to be honest there. On the last lockdown, I felt that I wasted a lot of time. And the reason why I think that is because we went into lockdown and I was thinking it's going to be a week. So, I could do with a week off. I could, and think,
Yeah.
and yet, funnily enough, I've said for such a long time, I could just do with a month without any disturbance, without anyone bothering me, just to catch up on things. And yeah, at the end of 3 months, which it was about 3 months, I'd not done hardly any of those things because I'd not got it right in my mind. But now, and the great thing about this one is we've got it's a month, right? So we know we've got a time frame, and with that time frame, we can do a lot more.
Yeah, so, and because we now know what's happening and we've got these 4 weeks ahead of us, let's make the most of it. So the first thing that you really need to consider is what can you control? Because I think a big element of anxiety and fear and worry is when you're feeling that you're out of control. So the way to turn that and to think and feel more positively is to consider the things that you can control. What can you control? Well, you can control what you do each day. You can control what time you have your meals. You can control who you're going to speak to, who you're going to communicate with, what jobs you're going to do. Because like you said, there are so many things that we can do.
What times you get up, what times you go to bed. We know what we can't control. We can't control COVID.
Nope.
We can't control what we are determined to do by the government or the authorities. We can't do anything about that. But there's so many things that we can control. And when you switch your mind from what you can do as opposed to what you can't do, it just makes you feel a lot better because you're in control.
One of the things that we've found where people suffer with anxiety and worry and stress, that's often associated or hand in hand with when people have got loads of time on their hands. And this is why, obviously, as we come into lockdown, there is a worry about people's mental health. However, what you can do to assist that is to keep busy and to create a routine.
That's so important, and I think that's where we failed a little bit last time. So set a time to get up. Now, whether it's the time that you normally get up or you're having a different time because you're in lockdown, because we don't know it will affect your business or what you're supposed to do, but set a time to get up, set a time to start your work or whatever you've decided to do. Have times for meals regularly. Always have a time that you go to bed, and just have a structure, because if you have a structure, then you will feel in control.
Yeah, definitely. So the next thing that we'd like you to consider is allow yourself to grieve. And you might sort of think, well, what are they talking about? Allow yourself to grieve. Grief is loss, and I suppose to some degree, we feel we've lost our freedom. We feel we've lost our ability to do the things that we want to do. We've lost the ability to be able to hug, to be around our friends and our family, and those are all such important parts of creating happiness and good mental health. So allow yourself that time to grieve. So don't be too hard on yourself.
And those whatever feelings that you've got, just go with them. This is not something that we've ever faced before, so just accept that sometimes you might go, I don't feel great or whatever, but just have those moments, but don't let those moments take over everything that you're doing.
Now the next point is to ground yourself.
Actually, just before we do that, just remember that we've been through this before. We got through it. It was a lot harsher. There was a lot more things that we could and couldn't do last time. Mainly things that we couldn't do last time. This lockdown seems a lot easier than the last one. So don't forget, you've been through it before. We got through it. You can get through this. This is easier.
Yeah, and obviously we don't need to dwell on anything too negative. So we're saying allow yourself to grieve, but then crack on with all the things that you need to do. But I suppose the thing is you've got to be kind to yourself. However, we do want you to find a bit of calm time and a bit of grounding.
That's important any time.
Yeah, it really is. And a great technique that we've used to help it's just to close the world off around you. All those worries, all those anxieties, all those things that sort of feel like they're coming at you. A great thing that you can do is what we call it the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To bring yourself in the here and now.
So it's kind of to connect with your senses and connect with the world around you. So think of 5 things. So stop, think of 5 things. Look around you, 5 things
Just
that
take
you
a
can
moment
see.
now, Eva.
Yeah.
5 things that you can see.
Yep. So, looking around, I can see Nick, and I can see a chair, the carpet, lights. 4 things that you can hear. 3 things that you can touch. 2 things that you can smell, and then 1 thing that you can taste. And doing that very quickly kind of helps to just get you back into that moment and back into control.
And mindfulness in general, just being in the here and now is very important, because we tend to get lost in the past or the future, and just grounding right now makes a real difference.
Yeah, definitely. So the other thing that we'd like you to consider...
Be kind. You've got to be kind
definitely.
It's being kind to others. And we always say, always be kind. You never know what someone is going through. However, don't forget to be kind to yourself.
Yeah, so do things for yourself. Treat yourself. That might be that you're going to have a sort of a nice leisurely bath, or you're going to watch a film that you've been meaning to do or to watch for absolutely ages. But it's so important to think of yourself. There's only one person that's with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that will be with you for the rest of your life, and that is you. And that's why it's so important.
That's right. And we talked earlier about having a routine. Put in that routine. Oh, I'm going to take 10 minutes here just to watch something fun. I'm going to take half an hour here. Put things in that routine and make sure that you stick to them, because obviously looking after yourself is really important.
Definitely. As well as looking after yourself, another element of looking after yourself is exercise. Keep physical, do things. Now, I know that when a lot of people go, oh, exercise, it kind of sometimes can sound
Well, let's be honest,
Eva,
exercise is the key to good health, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exercising, having the right foods is the key to good health. And the healthier you are, the less chance you've got of being ill.
Yeah, and again, exactly that. This is probably a time more than ever where our health is just so important. But I know that for some people, that word exercise or the thought of it can be quite overwhelming. And I guess what we're saying is it doesn't have to be. Exercise is just movement. So whether that's having a sort of a walk out and getting a bit of fresh air, which actually is really important. That although I know it's getting cold outside, but getting out of your 4 walls, going outside,
getting some sunlight, even though you might not be able to see the sun, just getting that light. And the best time of day is midday. So again, going back to your schedule, even if you say between midday and 12:30, I'm going to go out for half an hour.
Yeah, just sort of get outside. But if you can, go for a little walk. If you are somebody that can move a little bit more, then obviously have a little bit of a jog or a run. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be something that's really taxing. It can be having a dance. You can put your favourite song on, and no better way to elevate your mood and feel better than with music, with dance, with movement. So it can be something at home. It can be deciding that 3 times a week you're going to run up and down your stairs 10 times, or it might be that you're gonna squat through the downstairs of your house. Do lunges. So I
look forward to seeing you do that, Eva. Yeah. I'll be waiting for that one. Yeah.
But it is just about moving. I mean, even hoovering. So grab a vacuum cleaner and a bit of good music, and do a bit of sort of hoovering or vacuuming with a bit of rhythm and a little bit of movement. But yeah, so exercise is really important, and it will help to elevate your mood.
You could create, what you've got a bit of time in your hands, you could create a soundtrack for your life. Yeah. If your life was a film, what songs would you want in that film? Yeah. What would you want?
Yeah, some really good, some metal, some probably quite good rock music, I think.
Absolutely. Anyway, the other thing I'm going to do is stay in touch with family and friends. Social distancing doesn't mean becoming socially isolated. You've got to keep in touch with people, and if that's over FaceTime, over Zoom, or even just a good old fashioned phone call.
Oh, yeah, one of those.
One of those where you better not do a FaceTime because you've just got up or you've just got out of the shower. Or one of those situations where you just want to keep it private. Good old fashioned phone call.
But it is so important to communicate with people, to talk to people, and even if that's when you go to the shops, because we are allowed to go out and shop. So it's really important to chat to pass the time of day. It really does help. But if you are connecting with family and friends, then why not kind of make a night, so say, right, on a Monday night, let's get together via Zoom. I'll cook a meal for me, you cook a meal for you, and let's just sort of sit.
We can all sit around a virtual table together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So commit to times, commit to certain dates of, particular time of the week, particular day, because again, that allows structure whilst also giving you something to look forward to, something to put a bit of lippy on for. Maybe not you.
No,
me.
No, don't say me.
But it's just something to focus on, to look forward to, and it's opportunities to giggle and chat and pass the time of day. So it's really important.
Another important thing is just stick to reliable sources for your facts, because I've read on I'm going to say on the same day, but even within the same hour, 2 reports entirely conflicting. So there's all sorts of myths out there. So stick to reliable sources in relation to what's going on.
Yeah, and don't go on overload, because the fact is, if you hear something that's going on in the world that's negative at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you keep you're going to keep repeating that news is going to remain the same all day. Now, the more times you listen to something negative, it is kind of like exercising a muscle, and so it gets bigger and it starts to overshadow your day. So it's important to keep connected with the world, absolutely, but keep it to reliable sources, and don't be listening to negative news too often, because it just isn't great for your mental health. So that brings us on to another important point.
You've got to look for the positives. Gratitude, it's considered, we believe, it's the antidote to anxiety. Being grateful for things will totally change your mindset, because what it does, it switches your mind from looking at the negative and looking at things that can go wrong. It flips it over where you start looking for things that are going right.
Yeah.
And we've always got something to be grateful for. If wherever you're watching this right now, just pause this and just take a look around your room and look at those things in your room that at one point in your life you were like, I'm going to save up for that, I'm going to get that, I'm going to go on that holiday. You've got that photograph there where you're on that holiday, right? All these things that we just take for granted, whereas at one point in our life there were things that we really, really wanted, things that we worked hard for. Just be grateful for all the things in your life.
But it doesn't even have to be material things. It can be the fact that you can that you can see or hear this. The fact that you've got some sort of a device that is keeping you connected to the outside world. It can be that you can hear things, that you woke up this morning, that you've got food in your fridge. So it can be that you've got good friends or nice neighbours or a nice garden.
Best ways to practice gratitude is look through all photographs.
Yeah.
The best way, because you're getting those memories and all the things that you've done, and memories are the best things. As you said, it's not material things.
No.
It's the things that you've done and the holidays you've been on, the people you spent time with.
And a great habit to get into is either first thing in the morning. It's a great way to start your day, to think about all the things you're grateful for. But maybe towards the end of the day is to keep a gratitude journal or write down
what's been great about the day.
Some great things about the day. Between 5 and 10 things. And
but you know what? Go for 10 things, because I've had people say to me in the past, "But Nick, I've not had 10 things." Been great in a day. But when you start looking for 10 things, you'll find 10 things. It might take you a few months to get into that mindset, but believe me, you will start finding 10 things, because you've got, there's one, there's two. And a few months later, you'll have 10 things every single day in your life, and it will change your life without question.
So the final thing that we'd like to share is for you to be very careful and pay attention to the story that you're telling yourself.
I've got to tell you that I've heard some really bad stories recently. People going, "Oh, I can't believe it's this, it's that," and just moaning, basically.
Yeah, listen, we can't, we actually can't change this. We can't control the virus, we can't control the government, we can't control the decisions that are being made to a certain degree. Now, we can concentrate on those things and moan about them and get angry about them. Now, unfortunately, the only thing that will do is affect you negatively. And this little film that we want to share with you is about the next 4 weeks. We want to help you to be in the best frame of mind that you can be.
But just consider, in any event, the story that you tell other people and the story that you're ultimately telling yourself. What you're doing, you're narrating your life.
Yeah.
Right? So this is so important. This is, can just consider not what's going on. What do you want your life to be? Because ultimately, all our lives are a story. They're all our individual stories. And if you're not enjoying that story, if you're not telling yourself that you're enjoying that story, then it's not going to be a great story. But if you tell yourself, look, I'm going to look for the best possible things in this, I'm going to make the most of this time in lockdown, I'm going to actually move my life to the next level whilst I've got this additional time on my hands, it will change your life for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult situation. It's something that we've never sort of had to go through before, but what we have been through before is a lockdown. So we want you to take these 10 tips and make the most of the next 4 weeks for it to be the best it possibly can be.
Wouldn't it be great, Eva, if people in the future can look back on their life and go, do you know what? That lockdown so changed my life for the better. I realised so much. I've changed my life so much. Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would.
That's what we would like for you.
Yeah, really hope that our little tips have helped.